Brunswick. Thank you to everyone for coming out to Deltas this morning. Thanks, Mayor Cahill, and thanks to our owner, Josh Suggs, for welcoming us today. I'm really thrilled to announce my first cabinet appointee. I'm not going to shock you when I say it is Dr. Dale Caldwell, our Lieutenant Governor-elect, will be our next Secretary of State. So I know that with his breadth of experience, with his background in education and business and nonprofit, working for this state, and the fact that he's also an athlete, a pastor, and a parent, I know he is going to bring tremendous expertise to this role. And his resume is obviously incredibly impressive. And one of the things that continues to speak to me is his servant leadership. The fact that he puts himself last, that his relentless commitment to serving the people of New Jersey shines through in every single way. And as he himself would put it, he has always been and worked to be a voice for the voiceless. So I can't think of anyone better to lead in the role of Secretary of State, because Dale and I are on a mission to deliver for the people of New Jersey. And we know that making sure state government is transparent and accountable is how we begin this endeavor. During the transition, I'm building a cabinet that both reflects our state and reflects our values. A commitment to service and a relentless focus on taking on the status quo. The Secretary of State oversees a wide range of critical functions of state government, and I know that Dale is well qualified to deliver. As our Secretary of State, he'll oversee the Business Action Center, a key commitment of mine, making that more muscular and spearheading our efforts to support small businesses. With Dale at the helm, we'll get right to work in our first 100 days, cutting through red tape and permitting to reduce the amount of time it takes to open up small businesses here in New Jersey. We'll improve transparency so small businesses can see the status of their permits and approvals, and make the Business Action Center more robust so minority-owned businesses have access to resources and capital to address disparities that have hurt businesses across our state. So his goal will constantly be to save New Jerseyans time and money. Dale will also oversee culture and tourism in the Garden State. With the World Cup coming to the Meadowlands and New Jersey taking center stage in America's 250th birthday celebration, that will be no small order. And who better to do that than somebody who himself has been an athlete and a history buff like me. I know he'll do a phenomenal job preparing to welcome people from across the globe while ensuring that all communities have a seat at the table and are able to reap the economic benefits. So from increased tourist traffic at local businesses, bars, and restaurants, to advertising and higher ridership from across the globe on New Jersey Transit, we have huge economic opportunities, and Dale is going to spearhead ensuring our businesses see success. So finally, our Secretary of State oversees election security. It's a profound responsibility, especially given we have a president and an administration trying to undermine our Constitution and our elections. This year, we here in New Jersey showed up in record numbers, and we rejected the Trump administration to cast our vote to chart a new path forward in our state. And yet we had people like Alina Habba, currently serving illegally as the U.S. Attorney of our state, at my old office here in New Jersey, trying to intimidate voters and attempting to get people to stay home and not cast their ballots. One thing we know about New Jerseyans is that we are tough, and we're certainly not going to back down from a fight to protect the things that we care about. With Dale at the helm, we'll be able to ensure that every New Jersey citizen has access to the ballot box and can have a say in New Jersey's future. Dale's father marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. He knows that the right to vote is never one to be taken for granted, and that while progress isn't always linear, we can't ever give up the fight to ensure that every New Jerseyan can have their voice heard. I know Dale will be an excellent steward of our elections, and he'll oversee them with the care, nonpartisanship, and the precision that they require. So with that, it's truly my honor to introduce our next Secretary of State, Lieutenant Governor-elect Dr. Dale Caldwell.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. Governor-elect, just want to thank you for the confidence you've had in me. You know, there are three phases in the campaign. We have the campaign, we have the transition, and then we have governing. And it's just, you know, the more time we spend together, the more impressed I am about all that you do, but especially listening, and especially really trying to make sure that communities are heard. It's wonderful to be here this morning because in 1999, when Josh Suggs had opened this, it was Hurricane Floyd, and I actually helped them open up when they first came. So this is kind of a coming home time for me. And so it is just an incredible opportunity to serve as Lieutenant Governor, but also Secretary of State. As you know, the Lieutenant Governor has to serve in a department. And so, you know, one of the reasons I want to do this is to really support Mikey's focus on driving an agenda that expands opportunity, that lowers barriers, and brings real accountability to government. You know, the administration is committed to innovation and rejecting politics as usual. This is the time when we're looking at things with brand new eyes to really begin to address the many challenges in the state of New Jersey. So we're serving with and knowing Mikey a focus on urgency, a focus on purpose, and a deep belief in lifting up our communities and making sure that all communities, no matter what the zip code is, are as strong as they possibly can. So the kind of three areas I wanted to talk about at the Department of State. One are small businesses, and I have the opportunity to lead the Save Time and Money Transition Committee to really focus on cutting through red tape and eliminating unnecessary fees and delays, and ensuring that small businesses, and especially minority-owned businesses, can get the real reliable support they need and the opportunities that they deserve given their capabilities. And so as we look at this idea of saving time and money, we are laser focused on really trying to reduce this red tape and this challenging delay that costs small businesses like Delta's a lot of money. The second piece is culture and tourism, and if anybody who knows me knows that, like Mikey, we love history. You know, we love history, and this state has one of the richest histories in America. And so as the Secretary of State, we want to make sure that history is not only collected, but is as vibrant as possible, and that it reaches all of the population. I think too many people don't understand how incredible New Jersey is. As you know, this is an incredible time. We have the 250th anniversary of this country in New Jersey, and the largest sporting event in the world, the World Cup, is going to be here this year. And so one of the things that we have to make sure is that those tremendous opportunities need to translate with revenue to small businesses, to have watch parties, to do other things in restaurants, to really make sure that people have opportunities to have jobs and to really grow. And we want to deliver and elevate the arts and the culture and sports and the economic engines that really help this state really grow. And one of the reasons I'm really particularly interested is, you know, I was on the board of the United States Tennis Association. A lot of people don't understand that the U.S. Open is the largest annual occurring sporting event in the world, more than 800,000 people coming. And it has greater economic, it's a greater economic engine than all the Yankees, Mets, Rangers, Knicks games combined. So the opportunity to have the World Cup here can translate to hundreds of millions of dollars in local communities. And finally, as you heard the governor-elect say, election security. Now, this is the time when we have an assault from an administration on trying to do everything they can, and so often unconstitutionally, to really interrupt our election process. And as you heard, my dad, you know, marched arm in arm with Dr. King to really focus on voting rights, to make sure that everybody, no matter who you are, has the opportunity to vote and is not distracted or delayed or scared into not voting. And so we want to make sure that every ballot and every voter and can vote in every election that they want to vote in, and to make sure that, as the governor-elect has said, safety is our #1 priority in all communities, and to be safe when you're voting, to be safe when you're living, and to be safe when you're enjoying the many benefits of New Jersey. And there's a whole bunch more with the Secretary of the Department of State. But I'm just so excited to get to work. I'm so excited to be working with great people like my good friend Mayor Cahill, who originally appointed me to the board of 28 years ago. And so, you know, the experience that I have working with local communities really will serve well in this new position. So with that, Mike and I will take some questions.
You go to press Q&A. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm okay at the moment.
I mean, generally on election security and transparency, accessibility, I mean, what are you hoping, like, what exactly does that mean? Like, what are you looking to get done in terms of making more transparent? What does that mean exactly?
Well, I think we saw some real problems as we were having challenges in certain areas of the state from the administration. So making sure the Secretary of State can respond quickly, can put out information on all we've done to ensure elections are transparent and safe. We have new voting machines, we have paper trails, we have now we have set forth rules. I think making sure we can get the vote counted as quickly and efficiently and transparently as possible is important. Ensuring too, when we are hearing from different contested ballots, understanding quickly what went on and how we can get them before a judge to determine those ballots so that everyone knows that their vote is being taken seriously and we're doing it in a transparent and nonpartisan way so we can develop confidence. We also want to make sure that, there have been reports of different federal law enforcement agencies and polling places to try to dissuade people from voting. So ensuring that everyone feels safe coming to vote and knows that they have the option to vote by mail as well if they don't feel like they want to come in person to the polls. So in every single way we can, making sure everyone knows that they are safe in voting, that their vote is secure and will be counted in a nonpartisan way.
And so really just to build on what the governor-elect said is that, there's also intimidation too. And so we want to make sure that no one's intimidated, that everybody is encouraged to vote, which includes voter election, which includes, that's part of the historical thing, to let people know why it's important and that it really, really matters, as it did in our election.
Did you see any intimidation a month ago in your election? And you mentioned intimidation and bad things happening out there. Did you see any signs?
Well, I think this election went very well. I didn't particularly see that, but again, I'm part of this National Lieutenant Governors Association. I've been talking to people, so best practices around the country. We want to make sure we're as prepared as possible for any consequences out there. And so I think this election was as smooth as it's been in many, many years. I personally didn't see it.
We had some reports coming in. I wasn't at the polls where they took place, but we quickly reported that back to the state, and they went and investigated. I think they felt confident they were able to keep people in a standoff position so people felt safe coming to the polls. But it's both actual intimidation on the ground, and then it's pushing out misinformation and messaging against having people coming to the polls and what might happen to them. And so that's all on the table right now.
Governor-elect, of course, you get to choose which role to appoint the lieutenant governor to. In this case, you chose Secretary of State. Is that the role that you kind of had in mind for Dr. Caldwell all along? And Lieutenant Governor-elect, is this the role that you would have wanted as lieutenant?
So this was I don't want to speak for Dale, but this was a role that Dr. Caldwell brought up at our very first meeting. He served in state government before and knew that given his background, as he sometimes says, in bringing together different small actors in the community, small businesses, small churches, small nonprofits, that he really felt there was an opportunity in the State Department with things like the Business Action Center to deliver for small businesses and in communities like that. And then certainly with his father's background, and something that he passed on to Dale about how important elections are, how important getting engaged and involved is, that was something I believe that spoke to Dale as well.
Yeah, and I would say I was Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs, so I could have been there. I have K-16 experience. But in talking with the governor-elect, I wanted to be of much service to the agenda of accountability, transparency, small business. There's a faith operation within that department as a pastor that obviously aligns very much with my background. So you're going to see some really interesting things happening in the Department of State from a community up level. So it's kind of exciting, and that's what really excited me about that, the opportunity to really advance the governor's agenda, governor-elect's agenda.
Hi, Governor-elect. Congratulations, Dr. Caldwell. I'm Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick today. On August 8th, just a few blocks away from here, the New Brunswick police shot and killed a 68-year-old woman named Deborah Terrell. It's been almost 4 months since then. The Attorney General still has not named the officer who shot Ms. Terrell. You talked about transparency and accountability. Do you have any comment on this tragedy, and what do you think should happen as far as transparency with this situation?
So certainly, you know, with tragedies like that and understanding ongoing investigations, the community has a right to know and understand information going forward. But that is also balanced by ongoing investigations into what happened. So I'm happy to look into that and get more information on it, but thank you.
Additional press Q&A?
While you're here, any comment on the bill up today on the comptroller that's up in the legislature today?
So I don't comment on pending legislation, but I have been very clear that in my administration, I'm demanding accountability and transparency, and I will be opposed to anything that walks that back in any form.
So if this bill came up during your time as governor, would you veto it?
I would be against anything that removes any accountability or transparency, so I'd have to see the final state of the bill, which, you know, hasn't been produced yet.
All right. Anyone have any last questions? If not, we'll wrap up.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you coming out today. Thanks again. And we'll have more announcements soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. This is a great, I love it. Yeah, that's so beautiful, but we don't want to be backlit. This right